Hello, everybody. You are listening to Ring the Bell Radio, a wrestling podcast. JD here, as always, gracing us with his presence. He's the one, the only. King Logan is here.
Right. Oh, look, everything just dinged when you said my name. It was amazing.
It did?
Yeah, on my end, like people were dinging me, like there was alarms going off. Like if there had been some fireworks, it would have been amazing.
Yeah. So
what are we doing here today?
Well, there's no introduction to your audience. You threw me off there.
Listen. I'm trying to work out where the hell I put you on that screen. There you go. Oh, it's a puppy on this screen.
Oh no! For those of you that don't know,
he's so cute.
King Logan is in his own. We're in the studio, and he has a studio box within the studio. Sort of like if you watch Howard Stern, like Robin Quivers sits in her own secluded box from everyone else. That's what Logan does here, and he has about
germs.
Well, no, he has about 10 different monitors all around his little box there. But anyway, and he has to be looking at everything at once. You know?
I've got to give the data to my fans. We've talked about this already. Okay? The data,
yes. Before we get into what we're talking about tonight, and by the way, we're going to be discussing Wrestlemania 2, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, Wrestlemania 2. But before we get into that, there's
the sequel.
There's something I think we got to there's something I want to bring up to you on the air, and Barris is coming in late, so we could address this with him when he comes in.
Okay.
Logan and I found out that I walked in the offices today, and there was some young gentleman here working that I've never seen before, and I go, hello, who are you? He's like, my name's Phil. Hi, Phil. What are you doing here? And he's like, oh, well, I'm working for Barris. I'm his intern. Oh, isn't that lovely? So a couple minutes later, Logan, you walked in, and I immediately came up and told you, did you know Barris hired an intern? And I don't think you did.
No, I had no bloody clue. I didn't know who the kid was whatsoever.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, who the f are you, mate?
Yeah. So I think, one, we got to figure out, why does Barris need an intern? What does he do that warrants him having an intern? If anyone should have an intern, it should be like you or me, not Barris.
This is why,
this
morning, after I met this Nick, and you told me.
Phil.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So after you told me about Tom, I immediately went out. I hit the internet hard.
Yeah.
I mean, real hard. Okay. And then basically, I now have an assistant.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hold on. Yeah. Jeffrey, come here. See, proper. Look.
Oh, okay.
All dressed up,
He's dressed.
Tails.
Professional.
Butler.
Yes. Okay.
Jeffrey, say hello to JD and our fans. Yes, sir. Hello, Ring the Bell Radio fans and Mr. Jeremy.
Hi, Jeffrey. Yes.
Yes, Jeffrey, please. Let's not be vulgar to each other. Yes. All right, Jeffrey, off you go, mate. Off you go.
Yes. All right. Pleasure, Jeffrey. Yes.
Yeah.
But what we want to know is, when he gets here, we're going to get to the bottom of this, and it might be in the middle of our discussion, but we have to figure out why he has an intern.
What's like a trainee rabbi called? Is it just like a rab?
I don't know. We'll have to ask him. I mean, seriously, what is it called? Is it an apprentice? It's like, a priest goes to seminary, and they become what, brothers or monks?
A brother and then a father.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah.
If you have a sex change, a mother as well.
Well, and I grew up a Catholic, and I used to know all this stuff. But anyway, it's WrestleMania 2. Oh, I know what I wanted to ask you. There's no news this week. We're just going to jump in right into
We
WrestleMania.
just got to get to WrestleMania 2
Okay.
because I got to talk about this shit.
Okay. So first of all, I'm going to bring up that we actually had a fan email us when we put the word out about we're going to, what could we review? And it was, hey guys, this is from the Angry Fan. That's his name, the Angry Fan. Hey guys, wrestling today sucks. Can you guys go super old school and discuss WrestleMania 2? I am interested in hearing your thoughts on it. Well, we got that email a couple weeks ago, and then, yes, so we watched WrestleMania 2. I have seen it many times, but it's been a quick minute since I've actually watched it. Logan has never seen it.
Never watched it.
So, do you want to give your opinion of it now before we get into me running down through the match card and everything?
No, let's do it with, all right, go run through the match card and I will give you my opinion real quick on the individual matches.
So you want me to run through the whole match card first, then you'll give the opinion?
Yeah, and then I'll do my bit. Let's just do it like that.
Okay, so WrestleMania 2 was April 7th, 1986, and it came from not one, not two, but three different cities, all in the same evening. It came from New York, Chicago, and Los Angeles. So the New York matches was Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff versus the magnificent Don Morocco with Mr. Fuji. For the Intercontinental, you know what I'll do, Logan? I just thought of this now. Let me run through do you want me to run through the New York matches first and then you give your opinion so we could go city through city?
Yeah, let's do that.
You want to do it that way? Okay. Yeah. So I already said Mr. Wonderful. This is the New York matches. Mr. Wonderful versus Magnificent Don Morocco. Okay. The Intercontinental Championship was Macho Man Randy Savage with Elizabeth versus George the Animal Steel. Jake the Snake versus George Wells. And then the final match for the New York segment was a boxing match. Mr. T versus Rowdy Roddy Piper.
All right.
That's the New York card. So go ahead, Logan.
The New York card. All right. So who was first?
Oh, who was first? It was Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff versus the magnificent Don Morocco.
Okay. Yeah. It was actually a decent wrestling match. Like they actually wrestled each other.
Yes, it was.
You could tell literally in the first 5 seconds who the bad guy was, who the people were rooting for.
Well, you had Fuji with Morocco, so that's
you instantly know. It was a good match. I was upset at the ending. It was a double count out.
It was incredibly short.
It was very short. I mean, it could have been longer than maybe 3 or 4 minutes.
I don't have the time.
I don't have the times up either. Now, funny thing about this was the Mr. Fuji thing. You don't see it on the network. But Mr. Fuji, in the original broadcast of this, apparently was doing slinty eye movements and doing like the Italian exile basically at Mr. Wonderful or something like that. And anyway, it's edited out of like everything. But there is one video, like one that Colossal did before they realized what it was. There's a run of them out there where you can actually find him doing it. Yeah, super racist, but it was a good match, but it was too short.
Okay, it was 4 minutes and 10 seconds. It seemed shorter than that.
It seemed even shorter than that. A lot of that time was spent outside the ring. That's the problem.
Yeah, I mean they locked up. You could definitely tell Mr. Wonderful was the fan favorite.
Oh yeah,
from being a heel
good
from
pop. Good pop.
Considering he was the heel the year before, like one of the super heels with Piper. And then he opened up WrestleMania 2. I want to say it kind of set the tone, but in a bad way.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to get to my WrestleMania thoughts in a minute. Let's go on to the next match, which was Randy Savage versus Animal, right?
And And you're going to.
It took me a quick one.
No, what I was going to say is what I was saying about setting the tone from the match is you're going to audience. You're going to understand what I mean by that in a minute when we start reading off the match times.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yes, the second match for the New York segment was Randy Savage versus George the Animal Steel for the IC championship.
It was a comedy match, kind of. Animal took me a quick minute to remember him.
I know. I was like, you know who that is, right? And you're like, who?
No.
You're like, no. And I'm like, that's George the Animal Steel. And you're like, all right. And I'm like, dude, that's he ate the turnbuckle. I seem to remember that. I know my
That's
accent's
literally
terrible.
what it was.
Yeah.
It was a decent match. It was a decent match between the two, actually. Randy Savage went to end it with his like magnificent elbow drop. He did it, and the Animal just threw him off him for the pin count, and it was quite a shocking fact. I think McMahon actually commented on it.
Yeah.
And it was like, no one's ever got out of that before. And I was like, it's a finishing move, man. You should be dead when it hits you.
There was something he did, Macho Man. Like I said, it was a fun match to watch. Macho Man brought in a bouquet of flowers. And I remember you looking at that going, what the F is he doing with the flowers? You started laughing. And he's like, he's hitting the animal with the flowers. And then what did I say? But he's doing it in the most macho way possible.
Macho way possible. It was hilarious. And then Animal got hold of the bunch of what was left of the flowers, and he's like jamming it into Macho Man's face. It was hilarious. It was a good match to watch. It really was.
Now,
next,
this match was only, and it was only 1 minute longer than the opening match. This one was 5 minutes and 10 seconds.
It felt a lot longer. It really did. It was just because it was fun to watch.
Well, there was a lot of running around too, just to add to this match. That he was because I think I had to explain to you. You know, I think I went. Oh yeah, by the way, Logan, George Steele is like obsessed with Miss Elizabeth, and then you got to see that in the match.
Yeah,
where he was kept trying to go Elizabeth or whatever he was saying, you know, in the animal voice.
Isn't that like bang drums?
Bang drums? What?
Oh.
Huh?
Sesame Street.
Oh, animal. Drum. Yeah. I know what you're talking about now. Okay.
Oh,
match number 3 for this segment. Jake the Snake versus George Wells. Oh, and by the way, before I say this, the match number 1 was a double count out. The last match, Randy Savage versus George Steele. Randy Savage won to retain. And this match, Jake Roberts defeats George Wells in a singles match. So here we go. This is the third match of the card.
No, it was good wrestling as well. Roberts, as always, is a pleasure to watch when he was younger.
Yeah.
It was like an upset match though, because like it was George Wells was like the fan favorite
at the time,
At the time. And you know, Roberts hit him with a DDT, he went down, and then he got Damien out, put the snake around him. I didn't like so much how he manhandled the snake. I'm like, Jesus Christ, Jake, calm down, mate. Like, I got to wrap around this guy. Like, don't grab a head. You were telling me about George Wells where he starts foaming at the mouth.
Yeah.
What was that?
I think I looked over, and when they showed that shot of him, because Jake was forcing the snake around his neck, and I think they kept saying, oh, it's constricting. He started foaming at the mouth, and I went, you know, it came out that's where he put Alka-Seltzer tablets in his mouth when he was like rolled over on his stomach before when he was putting the snake on. So when he would roll over and the camera got him, it looked like he literally was foaming at the mouth, and it was the kayfabe, man, the kayfabe.
It was hardcore kayfabe. It wasn't a long match either.
No, it clocked in at 3 minutes and 15 seconds.
It's very quick,
very short,
but it was fun to watch. You know, it was a good Jake the Snake watching. If you fancy watching Jake the Snake do some work properly,
So we're gonna get to here's the final match for the New York segment of WrestleMania 2. It is the boxing match. I'm gonna read off the match because I know Logan really liked the promos, the interviews. especially Piper's leading
Oh,
up to this.
God,
But
that
it's
man is
Mr. T.
legend.
Yes, it was Mr. T with Joe Frazier in his corner versus Roddy Piper with
Smoking Joe
Frazier with Roddy Piper, and he had Cowboy Bob Orton in his corner. But Mr. T technically won by disqualification. And this boxing match clocks in. It was supposed to be 10 rounds. But I think they did 4 rounds, and it clocked in at 13 minutes and 14 seconds.
Yeah, it was a long match. Here's the problem. I'm not a boxing fan.
Neither am I.
Okay, it never really interested me. I think, people who can do it, got more power to you, mate. I love I love technical aspects of things and so on, but it never got me like wrestling got me.
You gotta appreciate their athleticism.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
Oh, yeah, I can appreciate it.
Like JD was saying, if you got boxing on around your house, yeah, we'll watch boxing. For me, it's if boxing's on in your house.
Oh, okay, let's watch it.
Yeah, let's watch it.
All right, why not?
But we'll talk about something while it's on in the background.
Yeah.
Most of the 90% of this match, I wasn't even watching. I'm trying to watch it, but my brain is just like,
it was a gimmick.
Yeah, and
I hate to call boxing a gimmick, but for wrestling, it was a gimmick match.
Yeah, and it was just, I just didn't like it. It dragged on so long as well. It got good at the end when Rowdy basically was like, yeah, screw this, just body slams Mr. T. Okay. It was awesome. But
let's go back to Roddy Piper. How you doing? I'm doing good. I let my hair grow long so you'd be able to see the difference between me and Mr. T.
Piper, legend in interviews. If you could get the vignettes from this about Piper, especially his one after the match where he's with Vince McMahon, and I'm not going to say a name at the moment, all right? But that vignette is amazing. It's like, I came here to fight, and I tried to fight, but then they grabbed me. It's classic, man. Just watch it. It was good. The match, though, yeah, I
forgot that your favorite celebrity announcer was there. You just reminded me.
We're gonna get to that bit. We're gonna get to that bit.
So that was the ending, and Mr. T won. By decision, by disqualification. But that right there was your first 4 matches of the first, I say, third of WrestleMania 2 from New York, the Nassau Coliseum.
Be sure to tune into our next episode, where we will continue this discussion and bring you the WrestleMania 2 segment from Chicago.